What's up, everybody? It's your cool bro Niko back once again with MCSC Sports, and I wanted to talk about some great news for the Thunder in the midst of some pretty horrible news. Obviously, you know, with Andre Roberson getting injured. We don't know if it's going to be through the playoffs, but we do know it's going to be through the season, which means it's going to be very, very difficult for them to play that defense at the level that they played at with Roberson on the floor. Now, just like with offense, defense is about chemistry. And so I think why the Thunder dropped to such a low defensive rating with Roberson off the floor. Obviously, he's an elite defender. He's all NBA second team last year. But understand something. They will be okay because they have to simply integrate a player into that offensive lineup to play defense. And if that happens and they happen to find someone who can score while they do it, then, well, you're looking at the same team that they had, but with a scorer. You know, that can get them 6 to 8 points a game, which, quite honestly, Andre Roberson cannot do. Now, Andre Roberson is a valuable player. Like I always say, Andre Roberson is so good on defense that he's kind of like how you would think of like a Lou Will or even Isaiah Thomas. They score so much that you don't care about their defense. Roberson plays so well individually and as a team member on defense that it makes up for the fact that he doesn't have any offense whatsoever because they have so much offensive power on that Thunder's lineup. But here's why there's a silver lining. The other day, many of you know that Westbrook went out to defend Paul George, but what didn't get talked about, which is kind of weird, is how Paul George reacted. This is his quote. "Russ is the reason why this decision is becoming even more easy to make. It's the character that Russ has, a stand-up guy, and he has his teammates back. We were actually joking before he went up there, and I was like, nah, Russ, you don't have to do it, man. Just let it go. Let it go, Russ. It is what it is. I wasn't picked." He said, nah, man, P, that's messed up. I'm going to tell them something about that. It was awesome for a teammate to have your back and to stand up for you. And to be honest, he should be a starter, which he is right about that. I'm a firm believer that if Curry is the starter, then it should be Russell Westbrook at the second spot. But that's neither here nor there. He's been the MVP, been the best player at his position. He should have been the starter, but that's another story. But the fact that Russ had my back, that guy, that's my guy forever. And it's more apparent what this decision needs to be made. What decision? Well, he said what this decision is, but you know. But he said what decision needs to be made when it comes down to it. So it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, that Paul George is in OKC to stay, which means Carmelo Anthony is more likely to stay. And that means that the OKC are officially a problem for the next 4 to 5 years. That is what happens when loyalty prevails. It is awesome to see that the OKC Thunder are able to find that chemistry. They're playing well. Carmelo is meshing well into his role. As you all said, I think that they are the sleeper in the West, even though they should not be. They're incredibly tall. They're incredibly gifted on defense. Even with that absence of Roberson, I think they'll bounce back. But if he comes back in the playoffs, it's a lot easier to get reacclimated on defense because he doesn't play much offense. So that's perfectly fine. Carmelo loves playing there as well. And I just overall think that when you have a team, like Paul George is one of those feel-good people. That's why he wanted to go home to begin with. And he's one of those feel-good kind of guys. And he's a country guy. So being in the Midwest isn't really a big deal for him. With Paul George's acquisition, now Anthony, who's about to be in the last year of his contract, can take a pay cut, because he will, and they can acquire another star. Now, you're really going to be faced with a hard situation because you may have to pay. No, I lied. That's not true. Adams already got paid. He's already he's signed. They got him for another 3 years. So now you can pay Carmelo less. You can go get you a star, and it will be very attractive for most superstars to want to play beside the triple-double king, because remember, assists are required in triple-doubles, and West does pass the ball much more often than what people think. And then Paul George, who's a 6'10" phenom and is getting back into his all-star shape. And then Carmelo, who will have open jump shots and clearly has been hitting them as of late. So if they go get someone like, I don't know, Kawhi Leonard, oh yeah, that's a possibility now. That is a legitimate possibility now. But if he stays, expect somebody to be moved. Expect somebody to be moved. It's going to be a good year next year. I think next year is going to be an exciting year. This summer is going to be insane. Whenever they do the trade talks and who's being signed to who, a lot of contracts are coming up. So can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. And always remember, find your balance, people. Thanks for watching. Peace.